for the modern diet, the primary issues with the nutrient deficiency are going to be like from the anti-nutrients. So like for instance, if you like, oysters are very high in zinc, but if you were to if you were to go to like a bar and eat oysters, which are high in zinc, but you ate some corn chips with that, the anti-nutrients in the corn would almost completely cancel out the zinc content in the oysters. So, all of the anti-nutrients are going to cause nutritional deficiencies. And then, of course, when you consume seed oils, your body incorporates the seed oils into your cell membranes as like fat, and it's very inflammatory, and obviously, and it takes 600 days for your body to purge. You'd have to stop consuming seed oils. And once at the moment that you actually stop consuming seed oils, it would take 600 days to purge your body of the seed oils.
That's
So
crazy.
it's so cumulatively damaging. And people are like, oh, I don't eat it all the time. I used to get into it with my wife, like with the, she would eat it like once or twice, once every week or two, or once a month or two. And she's like, I hardly ever do it. And I'm like, she just doesn't understand the way I do. I'm a little bit more fanatical about it. I'm like, you can't do it at all anymore. You can't. And she fights with me about it. So that's the primary issue with the standard American diet. The vegan diet, it would really depend on what kind of vegan you're talking about. If you're talking about like a Lizzo type vegan, who is a high ultra processed food vegan, you're going to have the same issues as with the the standard American diet, because you're just, except the one thing that's actually nutritious would be gone, would be the meat. But the meat in a standard American diet is so woefully small. If you look like a McDonald's value meal, like how much of that is actually meat? Probably like
Yeah.
maybe 20% of it is meat, maybe. The rest of it's
And
all
still they do blame the meat in the
yeah, it's
McDonald's.
the meat. It's bread, it's French fries cooked in seed oils, which are literally the worst thing you can eat. Especially those types of potatoes, the Bill Gates potatoes, just full of absolute garbage just before you even do anything with them. Then you dump them in a vat of engine lubricant, and it releases all those carcinogenic chemicals, and then you dip it in high fructose ketchup and you down it with a high fructose soda. It's the worst thing you can eat, and they call that a meat-based meal. I mean, it's plant-based. It's fully plant-based. It's barely any meat at all, barely any
Yeah.
animal anything at all. The cheese probably isn't even animal-based. Someone like Lizzo's diet is basically all of that without the meat. It's like, I mean,
It's even
you
worse.
see what it did to her. I made her she was just like morbidly obese, and I can only imagine the health problems she was having. Definitely having mental problems, obviously, if you watched her antics. Um, and I believe she actually got off the vegan diet and started eating some fish, I think, and she actually lost a whole bunch of weight. She's starting to actually look halfway decent now. I don't know if she's continued with that, but she did. I think the South Park Ozempic episode that they did about her kind of really got into her, because she was really, I kind of felt bad for her that she actually filmed herself reacting to that, watching that episode, and it kind of made me feel bad, but at the same time, I kind of believe that fat shaming actually works. I saw this article in one of the British newspapers that some guy lost a whole bunch of weight, and his friend was texting him every day, told him he was a fat slob every day. You're a fat slob, and he lost a whole bunch of
Oh,
weight.
wow. Okay.
But like it's a little bit extreme and everything, but I don't, I wouldn't personally do that, but I mean, like sometimes you need to look in the mirror and see what you've done to yourself, and get to the reality of it. So the whole food vegans, these are the ones that think they're like gorillas. They're eating, raw, leafy green, cruciferous vegetables, and broccoli, and lots of peppers and mushrooms. Maybe not raw, but they don't have any ultra processed foods in their diet. It's just and I used to, back when I was a little less compassionate and a little less understanding, because I really feel like these people are mentally ill and I shouldn't be making fun of them. I used to play a game on my Facebook called Vegan or Crackhead. So I would find a person who looked absolutely emaciated, like a vegan or a crackhead, because you can't really tell the difference between them. And I would just post a picture and I say vegan or crackhead, and everybody
Oh
had to
my
get
God. Okay.
it. One time I put Hunter Biden up there. It was pretty funny. So, you know, but it's people got on to me about it, but I was like, the actual message that I'm telling you here is that, you don't want to be a crackhead, and for probably a lot of the same reasons, like maybe, I don't know, maybe different fundamental reasons, but like the general idea is you don't want to be a vegan either, because it's obviously nutritionally deficient. There's so many things that your brain needs, and there's so many things that your body needs that you're obviously not getting with a vegan diet. If you look at like Ed
Mm-hmm.
Gaunt or Mick the vegan, they're just all, their face is all sunken in. They got the vegan pencil neck, and like, I mean, sometimes Ed Gaunt wears clothes that, that just hug his frame, and he just looks like a walking skeleton. And I'm not saying that to be mean or anything, but they're obviously harming themselves. And like I said, I think they're mentally ill. And I think a lot of them go into veganism from mental illness. They've been beaten down their whole life. They've been abused their whole life. They're traumatized. They think they're worthless. And the veganism is just like their coping mechanism, like to tell, like, the whole world just sucks. And I suck, but at least the rest of the world sucks more than I do. So they kind of deflect onto the rest of us with their virtue signaling about how awful we are and how virtuous they are. And of course, the essential nutrients that they're not getting, especially for their brain, is only making their mental illness even worse, because
Mm-hmm.
it takes a high degree of mental illness to watch yourself wither away like that and be sick and just disease looking, and not be like, wow, I'm actually like killing myself. I need to change something. They actually think they're healthier than us. And it's really sad. I don't engage with them. I usually block them because it doesn't do any good. But I think that's basically like the difference. Like, I think it was Bart Kay who said, like, basically the uh, that the standard American diet was the only diet that was actually more harmful than a raw food vegan diet. Just because of seed oils, probably.
Mm-hmm. So what are those main nutrients that are missing for their mental health?
I mean, like choline in the eggs, the creatine, the carnitine, the saturated fat and cholesterol that are essential for your brain, that are essential for your hormones. Cholesterol is the foundation of almost, if not all, of your hormones. Um, so, and all of these things contribute to your mental health, and you're just deficient in all of them. Your body is screaming that you need animal fats and proteins, especially for the brain. Especially for the brain. A lot of people believe, and I kind of agree with this, that eating meat is what made us human.
Mm-hmm.
We were frugivore, herbivore, apes, and then we started to scavenge for meat, which probably explains our super low stomach pH. We're down there with like vultures and hyenas and other carrion animals. So we probably scavenged for a while, and then our insatiable hunger for meat caused us to hunt. And then hunting, caused us we had to learn hunting tactics and had to learn how to make weapons and tools for killing and butchering our animals. And all of that required a high degree of intelligence and larger brain function. A lot of people think that whole process is what made us, or part of what made us, the intelligent species that we are today, or at least we used to be.